You must have listened, data is a new oil. You see recommendations on your YouTube page or the ads on your Instagram, Facebook profile because of data. Have you ever think how these data are organized? How the big tech companies are organizing this data? So all these data are pre-processed, and these organizations have a tons of data pipeline running to make all these things happen. So in this video, we will understand how these things happen at the backend, and we will have an idea on the highly used data pipeline tools in the market, which is called Apache Airflow. So let's get started. So Airflow is a workflow engine that will easily schedule and run your complex data pipelines. It will make sure that each task of your data pipeline will get executed in the correct order, and each task gets required resources. This is the Airflow basic thing. As you know, the data keeps growing, we will have more data pipelines to process all this data, right? So in a data pipeline, we have different operations. Let's say you are performing a task or operation, might be like data ingestion, data cleaning, data transformation, data aggregation, data provisioning, right? So, or you can understand like you are loading data from any source A, let's say called CSV file. Second task might be you are loading data from the API. Third task might be you are loading data from your like SAP data. Fourth task is transforming the data. Fifth task is storing somewhere. Sixth task is like provisioning the data. Like these all the pipelines defined. So for this doing all these tasks, or you can say operations, we can write a simple Python script. But have you wondered to handle these things, so many pipelines, how much it will be difficult for a programmer or let's say company? Let's say you are developing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pipelines, no worry. But let's say you have thousands of pipelines, how will you do that? So tackle all these things and run smoothly. Here Apache Flow comes into the picture, right? So let's discuss some of the background about the Apache Flow. In October 2014, Airbnb engineers started working on this and was open source from the very first, and become open source in March like 2016, and it become very popular, right? And okay, and the main reason was to become popular because of you can write a pipeline as a code. Okay, so by using Apache Airflow, you can easily build, schedule and run data pipeline. As started, I talked about the Airflow is a workflow engine. So basically workflow is nothing but a series of operations, or you can say tasks, that need to be executed in a specified order. So in few minutes back, I talked about the data pipeline, like different operations, like about loading, ingestion like loading, or right, transforming, like all that. This is called a workflow. But in Airflow, the Airflow, it is called DAG. DAG means directed acyclic graph. So it defines the different tasks that should be executed in a specified order. Acyclic means no cycle, and directed means in one direction. Okay, see the boxes, and all the boxes are nothing but the tasks. So in this, we are loading the data from source A, B, C, and transforming data, and then creates you can say chart, or you can say like reports. Okay, once the first executed, then the second part is executed, and this, and like this, all the tasks executed in a specific order. So if you want to create all the tasks, we have an operator in Airflow. There are various operators. Let's see one by one. First one is your bash operator. It actually executes a bash command. Second one is your Python operator. It calls an arbitrary Python function whenever required. Email operator sends email. Let's say loading done, you send an email. Sensor, wait for a certain time, or you can say files or a database. Let's say you are loading a data from source A, and the source A is empty. So sensor will keep checking whether some time or file is occurred or not, right? When it will occur, then it will send to the transform. There is simple HTTP operator, like sends an HTTP request, and there are some called MySQL operator, SQLite operator. It will execute a SQL command. Okay, now to run this entire DAG, this is called a DAG, right? To run this entire DAG, we have something called the executors. Executors basically determine how your task will run. So there are different types of executors that you can use. So if you want to run at a time, right, you can use sequential executor. If you want to run your tasks in parallel in a single machine, you can use local executor. And then if you want to distribute your tasks across multiple machines, they can use the Celery executor. There are various components of Airflow. Let's discuss one. As I discussed about the DAG, directed acyclic graph, then let's say we have a web server. Web server is like, it is a user interface built on the Flask, and it allows us to monitor the status of the DAGs and trigger them. There are called metadata database, right? Airflow stores the status of all the tasks in the database and do like all read and write operations of a workflow from here. There is one more thing, scheduler. As the name suggests, this component is responsible for scheduling the execution of your DAG, and it retrieves and updates the status of the task in the database. Next one is your executor, like class defining how your tasks will be executed. There are workers which we call as a process or sub-process executing the task, right? This is all about your Airflow. If you liked it, do subscribe and like the video. And in the future, I will be showing you how to install the Airflow on your local machine, how to create the DAG and everything. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching this video.